Whenever you want to start, Hank.
Okay. Then let's see. I'm trying to get in via the WebEx.
Okay.
Hank, did you find the email?
I found it. So now it's doing something.
Can you resend it? Whoever said they had it, Jeff or whoever had it.
Who's that?
It's Cindy.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right. I guess until this stuff is yeah. All right. So let's get going. So we have one appeal. That's correct.
Yeah, Hank, do you have the paper stuff that she sent? It's in there too. If you hand type it.
No, I've got the whole packet here.
Yeah, it's on the second page of the memo. That's how I got it. Anyways, go ahead, go forward.
Okay. On the second page of the memo that she sent.
Yeah, there's a 2-page agenda. On the second page, the blue text.
Right, I found that. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So let's just I'll just do it via the old-fashioned telephone.
Okay.
Is that with the rotary dial if it's old-fashioned? I'm sorry.
You're the one who's showing their age.
Hey, I go past that.
I see what you're talking about.
I was cans and string.
Oh, no.
Cindy, I just forwarded it to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. So who is speaking?
We have Dave Sacco is the project engineer. Doug Gray is the developer, and
Okay.
should be joined at some point by Rob Leonard, who's the owner of the brewery. But he's not here yet.
This is.
And
All right. I guess we should. Are we waiting for anybody, or are we just going to go ahead?
we can go ahead. We have 5 members at the moment.
Okay.
Okay.
So Joey's sitting in for Alden at this point.
Okay, thank you. All right, so let's have whoever is representing the project. Go ahead.
Dave, do you want me to switch it over so you can use your computer?
Sure, then I'll put up the presentation. I think Doug is going to address it, but I'll just page through the drawings.
Yeah, I think that'll work best. This is Doug Gray. I am president of Eclipse Development Group and a managing member of 1710 Litchfield LLC, which is the applicant or appellant. I'm not sure which word you guys use. In front of the board here. Thank you very much for taking the time for meeting and considering us for this development. We are at the stage right now that this is our first submittal to the town of Woodbridge. And as you can see from the minutes or memo on the meeting, we are actually asking for variances on 5 instances, although one really, I'm not sure we really need a variance, but to be certain, it was recommended to us by staff just to say, okay, throw it in anyway, since we're at 5, since we're already at 4 and have to be there. We are again applying for approximately 8.5 acres, 8.3 acres on the corner of Litchfield Parkway and Bradley on the south corner there. I think you guys are all familiar with the piece. And we are looking to move New England Brewing from their existing location over by the Lincoln Mercury. I guess it's just a Lincoln dealership now. Do they even say Mercury?
Mercury's gone. No, Mercury.
And I do show my age. As we go through, I'm not sure, Dave, you have the floor plan. I'm not sure we have any variance in the floor plan. What you have on the screen right now is the layout of the building. This is for one of the variances we asked for that I don't think actually applies. Go back to Dave, if you go back to the last one there. We have a height variance, which is number 1 on this. Although how height is calculated according to code, it appears that by the definition, our building height is 38.25 feet. Maximum allowable is 45 feet. But the peak of our building, where we have the skylights and everything, for lack of better terms, on the cupola there that goes through, that the top of that is actually just under 52 feet. But when you take, as per code, you take the average on the slope from that to the edge of the roof, we're actually 38.25. But this is the one instance where it was recommended, we don't want to be accused of hiding anything here. So we're including this anyway.
Okay.
So everyone is certain on this. So that's for section 4, number 1 on the agenda, on the height there. And quite honestly, the height underneath the skylights on that is really needed for the size of the tanks that New England Brewing is going to have within the structure. And it's just, I like the idea of having a facility with natural light in it, as opposed to it looking like a big industrial building. Do we have another view, Dave, on this? In the package, I don't remember if it was, yeah, we do finish the parking lot there. You can see that top little structure is all skylights on both sides of it. So that allows the natural light inside the building on that. So the tanks inside will be a little bit taller than the tanks that you see outside, a few of the tanks. So we need the height on that building for that. Do we want to, Chris or whoever, do we want to go item by item, or if you have questions, interview, just speak
Item by
up?
item would be good.
Okay, so on item 1, really, are there any questions or anything we can address? Issues?
No, I just wanted clarification. This is Jeff Atwood. I just was asking clarification. I'm not familiar with the hard rule. You were talking about the average, basically, of your 38 feet in the average versus just the peak number being 52 feet. I'm not sure how that calculation's done. That's all. I was just curious about that.
Jeff, it's in our definition of height within the zoning regulations.
Yep.
So it's done as an average height.
I see.
It's under building height.
Well, that's fine. Okay.
So it's
I'm
the
sorry.
average height between the eaves, the ridge. This is basically a gable roof.
Okay.
So that's what we get.
Okay, that's fine.
And when the finished ground level slopes away from an exterior wall, the vertical distance will be calculated based on the lowest points within the area between the building and the lot line.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay, while you were speaking, I just got a text message from Rob Leonard saying, "Sorry, Doug, I'm listening by phone. They can call me if needed. I just connect."
Okay.
So, Rob, if you can hear, that's tough. So no, Rob's there. I'm sure he'll give you some some snide remark in my text on my phone. So height is much more design and needed on this as we move through the rest of the variances. Actually, I think Dave, as much as being the civil engineer of the site, is a much better source of to explain what and how. So if Dave, you want to move to 2, which is driveway width on that. Yeah, Rob just hit me. Okay, well, there's a nighttime picture of the building. I've always taken great pride in what we design and build. And I think in terms of a brewery, we're going to pull off something here that's going to be a great presentation, make a great presentation, and really be an asset to the city and something that we can all be proud of on this. This is something that I have one partner with me, a friend, that we look to own this as long as New England's basically for decades will be part of the town of Woodbridge. So get used to me. So in terms of variance 2, specifically, we talk about the site. For some reason, there's an overlay on this that had a driveway width of 18 feet on this, and
It's you.
I don't know if you can blow that up, Dave. Where
I can't connect on your computer.
Why?
no, was that Rob?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we just heard you can't connect on your wife's computer.
Well, then I'm live. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I've tried 8 ways to Sunday, and I'll be quiet until you need me, but I'm here.
Oh, well, that's okay. We appreciate it. Thanks. So, Mr. Sacco, you want to take variance 2 and explain what we're looking for and why?
Right. Per the code for the Dev 1 zone, the maximum driveway width across layer 1, which is essentially the required front yard, is limited to 18 feet. And we're asking for that to be increased for 2 reasons. 1, because we need to circulate trucks in and out, and 2, because we want to make sure that there's safe passage in and out for vehicles or mixture of vehicles and trucks. An 18-foot wide driveway is really very narrow for vehicles to pass, and especially if one of them is a delivery truck or a truck, running supplies in and out of the brewery. The brewery will be served by, semi-trailers and fairly large trucks, so we need to make sure that they can be safely accommodated. So the 18 feet is really prohibitive in terms of being able to serve loading, unloading, managing waste grain, all of the functions that have to be done to support the driveways, the brewery. So that's why we're asking for a variance on the driveway width to accommodate turning lanes and to accommodate 12-foot driveway widths in order to safely operate the facility.
Yeah, to put it in perspective, guys, a typical parking space is 9 feet wide. So the 18 feet to begin with is just the width of 2 parking spaces side by side. So that even if we have cars going straight, that's pretty narrow. Your typical freeway lane is 13 feet wide. So I'm not sure where the 18 feet came from, but this is where Dave has laid out truck turning radius and car turning radius, and we want to make sure we don't impact our neighboring driveways or roads like Bradley and Litchfield Turnpike. We want to make sure the trucks and cars exiting, coming out can actually do it safely and not swing out into another lane, which is if you have a narrower driveway, you force them to go straight or much longer out of the drive and then make their turn.
Okay.
So, Dave, if you can really point, and we have primarily the truck access drives, but then also our closest driveway to the building, just right over there. Our closest, what will be our main drive to the building, you can see we proposed a left lane and a right lane, so we have space for cars queuing. We want to make sure traffic ingress and egress is very easy to any facility here and flows freely on this. So instead of having one lane out, we have 2 lanes going out, one in each direction on that. And then if you go to the other drive closer down towards Litchfield Way, Dave, can you move that over a bit? See, then we have the single lane, because that'll be right in, right out on that one. And then the drive over on Litchfield, which which will primarily that's only a right in, right out also, but primarily that's for truck access coming in and then coming in on the other corner of the property and then exiting down Litchfield. And Rob, while you're there, in terms of truck traffic, it's not like we have tremendous amount of daily truck traffic on this. How often do we typically foresee having semis come to this site?
Once or twice a week to pick up or drop off something, but not a lot. And it always during business hours.
Right. So it's not a case, unfortunately, it's sort of like we're setting things up for Black Friday in a shopping center. We have to address the worst case scenario so we don't cause problems. And that's what we're ending up. Our truck loop enters over on Bradley on the far side, comes around, backs into where you see the trucks there in the low rendering, and then exit out on Litchfield. So it's not that we have a lot of trucks come in. However, we have to lay it out so it works during the few times that they are there.
Hi, this is Cindy Gibbons. If you scroll up to the top on the other side of your building, is that right there to the left of your right there? What is that That's not going to be a public access?
That will be, that's or just trucks. We will then, right. The intent is to actually then either chain that off or somehow break it up. What we want to make sure, and later on in one of the variances we asked for are 2 pylon signs. We want to make sure everyone monument signs. We want to make sure everyone understands that where Dave has the little hand over there, that is the main entryway. So we'll do a sign right by that and underneath New England Brewing, and the logo will do entrance on either side of that sign so people know that is really the main drive on that. And then the other sign we put over on the corner of Litchfield, because to let people know that you turn on Bradley to get to the main entry. So code actually allows 1 sign, but because of the size and we want to make sure we direct everyone to the main drive for access, we're asking for a variance to allow 2 monument signs. Okay, David, you understand that on Dave's computer, your messages show up. Okay, so are there any questions on our driveway?
It's not really a question for you so much as a question for Chris. Can you give us some history in terms of how the 18 feet was decided? This is clearly more of a business zone, so I don't know what the actual code is.
It is 18 feet. This was something that was done under the last set of regulations, which was based more on form-based zoning rather than use-based zoning. I took a look at the driveways that are at 245 Amity and at 225 Amity and 1 Bradley Road and the assisted living at Coachman's, and they are all in excess of 18 feet. Most, they're at least 28, some are in the mid 30s.
Okay,
So the 18 feet is not anything that any of the other business uses that are in this district are utilizing.
okay. That's very good to know. All right, thank you, Chris.
You're most welcome.
Okay, so the next issue was the parking area.
The parking area, well, Dave, if you want to address that, you've got the scroll that really lays it out much better.
Yeah. So what the regulations in the DEV1 zone say is that a parking lot is not permitted in the layer 1 or layer 2. Layer 1 being the 75-foot required front yard, and then an additional 20 feet for layer 2. So this area would be the limit of parking 95 feet back from the property line. By comparison, you can see here next door at 245 Amity Road, the parking lot is 9 feet off the property line, off the back of the sidewalk. So what we're asking for is consistency with the established standard on Bradley Road to the west to extend around this site so that we have more parking availability to support the facility.
Got it.
Okay.
Hey,
Now,
Chris, what's the
I'm
parking
sorry.
across Bradley for that office complex?
1 Bradley has the similar scenario to 245 that you can see in this picture. I don't know that it's within 9 feet, but it's very close to the property line across the front. And
Right.
likewise for 21 Coachman's, it comes well within that, what they now require, 95 feet. And if you go over to Amity Road to 225 Amity, which is the Willows,
Mhm.
again, the parking is right up near the property line.
Now, you can see actually on I'm sorry to interrupt, but on our parking, the majority of it is much further than 9 feet. And our intent is we'll put in the sidewalk, and then, because I don't like seeing the front of cars from when someone's coming into a facility, we'll actually do a berm after the sidewalk and then a hedge above that. So you don't look right at the cars when people are coming down the street on that. So we will landscape it and hide the cars a bit on this. It's just much more efficient use this way and conforms with, as Chris has just said, the balance of the development along Bradley.
Good, thank you.
Okay, number 4 then, if there's nothing else on 3, number 4 again is going back to signage. 2 being our monument signs, our 2 monument signs, which I discussed, but also if we can go, Dave, if you can go to some elevations, maybe the front the parking lot elevation first. Okay, the back one's fine. Okay, so the front elevation, okay, so what we have is the New England Brewing sign right there that's on the building that actually is larger than allowed just in and of itself. But quite honestly, this is not a small building. So you can, to me, this fits real well with the signage. We'll have gooseneck lights, if you can see them on the lower non-colored picture, that will come in and sign on, that will light up that sign on the building.
Okay.
There. We also then have, if you can go on the western side, Dave. Okay, the parking lot side's fine. Oh, that's got both. Great. So on the western side, on the back of the building, we've also, rather than have this long field of a red building, we put a larger New England Brewing sign there on the back of the building at that point also, which, and then on the tanks on the front, we like to use it as a chance to make the tanks look a little bit nicer, and we have New England, and then I'm not sure, Rob, what CHAG and what's the other one?
other. I can't see the photo right now. It's not in front of me, but like see their flagship brand and their continued.
Oh, okay, and double hag. Okay. So we're proposing to skin those tanks with that also on that. So I don't know if that counts as signage or not, but we want to point out that that's what we're doing. So overall, when we count that all in signage, we're tremendously more than what code currently allows. But quite honestly, I do not think any of this is, I think it's all in scale and actually presents itself fairly well on this. And then also our monument signs, each of those will have small New England Brewing signs on those. We don't have pictures of those right now, but they won't be very large. They're more street car level, no higher than like 4 feet. But again, to really just point out, that's it. So you can see here on the front of the building, the New England Brewing that will be lit up that way. So that's the variance we're asking for. And that's when you add all that together, it's tremendously more than, I think we're more than 5 times what code allows, but we're also a quite large building here. And I think our signage is very much to scale and presents itself well on this. So we're looking for a variance allowing these signs on the building and the tanks. I just rang a bell. So are there any questions? Do you want us to scroll back through all those again? So
It's not a question on that, but so you're going to be selling beer at this location? Yes?
that's for you, Rob. Yeah.
Well, no, you'll see where I'm going in a second. And so you're selling it, and people can buy it and take it away in bottles, bring it to their cars, and drive home with it.
That's one aspect of the business. Yeah, it's mostly to manufacture and produce and package and sell to wholesalers.
So private citizens can't come in and buy it and carry it away?
Oh, they can, absolutely.
So the question I have is, since we had an appeal recently about a possible package store, and they ran afoul of the distance from residences to the package store. That doesn't impact you?
Breweries are exempt from the distance requirement.
They're exempt, but the package store isn't.
Correct.
Right.
I love it. Excellent.
So and to clarify, not only is it cans, but also there's a tasting room and an event space and all this glass area. So the beverages can and will be consumed on site too.
Okay. And you'll have a spot for the Uber people to pick you up?
Yes, actually, if you go to the site plan, Dave,
Right.
zoom in.
Here, in the front of the building. Yep.
We have its own little designated drive. Yeah, you have to page up a little bit. There we go. You can see by our front drive, that little space where that initial turn in when you come in through the main drive, right there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we definitely have that in consideration. Yes, 2 cars can be sitting waiting at per time, and actually we can queue 2 more behind that.
Excellent.
So yeah, we think that's important also because in the future, well, 1, because alcohol is served there, but also 2, in the future, I think the Uber and Lyft and those things will be used a lot more often on that. Anything else on signage? Any other questions?
Well, it's more of a question for Chris, because I thought zoning, and over the last few years, redid all the signage regulations. And so this is outside of that. Can you give us some idea of how the zoning is looking at this versus, because they just redid all the signage?
We did redo the signage, so bear with me while I find that section. Okay, so this is a non-residential zone, so they can have one wall sign with just a zoning permit, where they can have, they can have one wall sign. They can have an additional wall sign by special exception from the Town Plan and Zoning Commission. But this particular building would have at least 3 wall signs, because it's going to have the one on the front of the building and one on either side.
Right.
So one of the sides constitutes an extra sign. The skins that are proposed to be put on the tanks are advertising for what is sold there. So they constitute signage also. And we don't address skins on tanks, because that's not quite often anything that we do.
Right.
Do have signage in windows and things like that, but in this particular case, it wouldn't be anything that would be beneficial to the business. So it's rather unique in the use of the tanks. But then again, we don't have breweries in town that are having tanks that are having skins. So it's a logical thing to do, but it wasn't anything that was anticipated within the regulations.
Okay.
And then we have, as they had said, we have one monument sign that you can allow. This does have the 2 road frontages. And because of the length of the site, having a monument sign that's down on the corner of Litchfield and Bradley certainly is going to direct the traffic safely to turn onto Bradley. And then, as the applicant had said, to be able to direct them then into the driveway where you would want them to enter. It's helpful to have a sign. And as this plan is showing, it would be 4 feet in height and 6 feet wide, which is pretty much a standard sign. The monument signs are 24 feet square in total area. So that would be right within, it is the signage that's allowed. But they want 2 instead of just 1. But in this particular case, because of the size of the property, it makes sense to have 2.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. Okay. So do we have, do you have anything else to present?
No, really, that should be it. The point 5 was,
Okay.
as Chris just addressed, the 2 monument signs.
And do we have any comments from any neighbors, one way or the other?
We're not showing anybody having signed in to comment, and I have received no emails.
Okay. Okay.
I have heard that the citizens in the area are very much in support of this. They are looking forward to having something that's not a vacant lot. And from a planning and zoning perspective, they are also looking forward to having the business stay in town and move to a larger site and have something, very positive. They feel that this will be something that will become a destination point for Woodbridge, where people will come here. And then, when they're here, they may go to other restaurants in the area. They may go shopping in the area. But planning and zoning has looked at this as a destination type thing, which is huge for the town to have.
Okay. All right. So any further discussion from any members of the Zoning Board of Appeals?
No, sir.
Okay. So I guess we can close, and then we can discuss it. Any discussion from the members? Nothing.
I'm pretty good with it. I mean, I think the plan is pretty good. I tend to like this, so I don't have any real questions or problems.
All right.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
I like the clarification on, this is Cindy, I like the clarification on the top of the building. So that was helpful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful design. I
Thank you.
think it's going to be a real asset to our town.
Yeah, I agree. And there were some questions about this signage, but I mean, it's very tastefully done, and it's it painted in a very distinct fashion on the side of you know modern barn type building. So I think it's going to look nice.
And on the what do they call the wrap signage, is that something that will be switched out from time to time?
Well, we've closed the hearing, so you can't ask a question to the applicant.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, Joy, those are skins, and it's very similar to like a billboard type of thing. So I imagine that they could rotate those out, which like it's just going to promote their different brands that they have.
Sure.
or styles.
We may see a fuzzy duck.
Okay, if there's no more discussion, would anyone like to make a motion?
It's Cindy, I will.
What's that?
I make a motion. Do you want to do it all in one, all 5 requests?
I think we can, unless people have different ideas about different components.
I would say I will move it, all 5 components, to accept the application as it stands.
I'll second. Okay.
So
I'm sorry, who seconded?
I think it was
Sean.
Sean.
Okay, thank you.
So it was Cindy made the motion, second by Sean. Okay, then let's have a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I also. So it sounds as though this is unanimous. Okay.
Okay.
All right, great. So gentlemen, go forth and build.
Thank you very much, everyone. We appreciate the consideration.
So you're going to be giving us a discount, right?
Yeah, is there gonna be some free beer for the ZBA?
No,
That would be bribery.
that's bribery. You didn't even say that.
We were just teasing.
I'm just teasing.
Anyone can believe that.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Yeah, we very much appreciate the time and consideration. Thank you. And looking forward to, from being part of the landlord portion, looking forward to be part of this community for a long time. I know Rob and his crew have been there for a while, and they have stressed to me so much as we looked at other sites. No, we really want to stay within Woodbridge. So we appreciate the opportunity because this helps make it happen.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, we're definitely pleased to have you stay and build things up, and good luck to you, gents.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You too. Good night.
Night, Doug. Good night, Dave.
Night, guys. Bye now.
All right. So do we have minutes that we need to go over?
I think I sent them to you.
No, right. So if there's any questions on the minutes from the last meeting.
No questions.
None here.
Okay. Can we have a motion?
I'll make a
Motion to
motion
approve the minutes.
approve the minutes.
I heard lots of voices. So who was the motion to accept the minutes?
Jeff.
Jeff. Okay. And then there was a second. Was that Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Aye. All right. So those are done. One final thing for the board. I got a phone call from our attorney telling me that the last applicant is going to bring their case to court. just to let you guys know what's the latest.
That was the residential property?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
I don't think we need to do anything, but I just wanted you to be aware.
What's the process with that usually?
I don't really know. I guess they have to bring it to court and make their case. And I guess that they would have to prove that that we did not correctly apply the zoning laws, the zoning code. That they would have to also demonstrate a hardship, which is in the land. So they have to meet all those standards before they can overcome what we voted for.
Hmm.
And this one was the Schaefer property?
Correct.
You're saying?
Yep.
The other applicant has made an application to the Town Planning and Zoning Commission to amend the regulations regarding distance requirements for liquor package stores.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's good.
That's great.
Excellent.
That's really good. Yes. That's the way it should be. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, good. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Excellent.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
unanimous. What a surprise. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
people.
you all.
Happy
Thank you, everyone.
Thanksgiving, everyone, and I'll let you know if we have a meeting in December.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Happy
Okay, bye now.
Thanksgiving.
Goodbye.
Everyone.